Shiba's aura needs to be studied. This man is quickly becoming the Satoru Gojo of Kagurabachi, Togo Shiba, aka HIM. His stocks just skyrocketed after the most recent chapter, so let's talk about it. Alright, so chapter 80 of Kagurabachi actually added a fair amount to the world building, but specifically we learned some more about the basic forms of sorcery in this world. Because as Hakuri was going through the Kamunabi library, Kudo was telling him about the information that these books contained, saying that they're all manuals of sorcery. However, not the type of sorcery that's innate at birth, aka people's special abilities, but instead basic teleportation and force field magic, the things that are more academic, aka things that anyone can learn if they study it. Now that's really interesting because we've seen a lot of different forms of teleportation in the series, but none as impressive as what Sheba does with teleportation. And this information is basically a soft confirmation that this isn't even his sorcery. He's just out here clowning people with the basics. Now, does this for sure mean that Sheba has his own sorcery that we haven't even seen yet? No, but I think it stands to reason that he probably does because the entire series has just continuously expressed how strong he is. You know that Yura, the leader of the Hishaku, has cited Shiba as being the gold standard for strength in sorcery, and not only that, we know the Hishaku's entire plan to kill Kunishige and steal the enchanted blades revolved around doing so when Shiba would not be able to interfere. In fact, they did this entire thing in 10 seconds so that they could get in and out before Shiba showed up. Additionally, we know that Shiba, Azumi, and Kunishige have all been friends since they were teenagers, and yet neither Azumi or Shiba was one of the enchanted blade wielders. So why is that, right? Surely Kunishige would have trusted them more than just some randos out there. So I think that might speak to both of their sorceries being really important, or at least powerful, and that they didn't want to sacrifice them in order to wield enchanted blades. Now, obviously, that's just pure speculation on my part, but I think it's just yet another thing that could point us towards Shiba having a sorcery that we just haven't seen yet, because he hasn't needed to use it yet. Like, that's just how built different this man is. And shout out to Branwyn, who helped inspire this video, who sent me in a comment about this saying that either Shiba is one of the best practitioners of basic teleportation in the world, or it is his innate technique. And that is worth mentioning. It's at least possible that his own unique sorcery does have something to do with teleportation. But again, given everything we've talked about in this video so far, I'm definitely leaning towards that's just his basic mastery of sorcery because he's that good. Now next, speaking of Shiba, I want to give a massive shout out to Togo, who sent in an incredibly generous donation and asked me who I thought would win between Shiba and Yura, the leader of the Hishaku. And honestly, with what we know and like the current status quo of the series, I think Shiba must destroy Yura because, again, we know that their entire plan revolved around getting in and out to go steal the enchanted blades just to specifically avoid Shiba. And Yura himself has spoken about how strong Shiba is. So at this point in the story, I think Shiba slams. However, Yura is obviously being painted to be like a main antagonist of this series, and presumably he is going to wield the Sanuchi enchanted blade, right? So if and when that point comes, I think the needle shifts towards Yura. You know, I think Shiba without an enchanted blade can pretty much give everyone a run for their money, but if we're going to take an already powerful character and then equip them with the most powerful enchanted blade, I think he would then be able to take Shiba. And then Togo also asked me another question, which was, who would I take in a fight? The Undertale universe against the Jujutsu Kaisen universe? And honestly, it's so funny how much overlap there is between those two fandoms. I was actually talking about this with someone the other day. And as a fan of both IPs, I love it. Like, there's so much Undertale fan art that references JJK, and like there's the Gojo is Sans theories, and just, it's a lot of fun. But in terms of which universe is stronger, it's tough. Like, my initial instinct would be to say JJK because there's way more like crazy powers and stuff compared to Undertale, but like Chara, for example, I don't know how it's like, I don't know if they can lose considering what they can do, you know, like, and considering it's a video game that they can always just revert back to the previous save and try again. Like, if there's infinite time with infinite iterations, they'll probably figure out a way to get past infinity and to kill Gojo and to kill Sukuna. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't bet against anyone that literally has an infinite amount of attempts. Like, maybe they could eventually learn sorcery, learn domain amplification, so that they could one day get by Gojo, right? Like, sure, they're going to get unlimited voided and world cutting slashed millions of times, but eventually they probably would win. But if you don't like that type of answer, then I would go clearly JJK. But again, a time travel is hard to beat. And then finally today, Lily requested if I could please scream proceed for all the Discord Bachi bros. And quick plug for the Discord, especially if you're a Kagurabachi fan, come join us and talk Kagurabachi with us there. But yeah, you know, I'm sure I won't regret this. But I'm honestly not sure how we should do this. So let me do a couple takes here. So first, proceed, or maybe proceed, and then proceed.